Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. I'm Kisha Davis. I am president of the Maryland Academy of Family Physicians, and I'm also medical director. Got some Marylanders. It's not all of Texas Conference, okay? So Maryland's we're a small state, but we're not that small. I am also medical director of a primary care center in Maryland that I helped open for about 3 years. I'm also a wife and a mom of 3 boys, and I've got a 9-month-old, and all of that fun stuff that comes with being a doctor and a doctor mom and a real person. And I think what this meeting helped me remember is that we're all real people. So, any first-time attendees here? Awesome. That's so amazing. So I was a first-time attendee once, many years ago, it feels like. But actually, it's amazing. So I went from clueless, literally clueless, to chapter president in 6 years. And this conference is how that happened. It really is because of this conference and what I learned and the support that I got here. So I came to this conference, my former residency director, I was 1 year out of residency, and she said, oh, there's this conference in Kansas City, do you want to go? The chapter will pay for you. I said, sure, I'll go to a free conference. That sounds like fun. Had no idea what I was getting into. I didn't even know that it was a leadership conference. It's so funny because we have people from Maryland who come to this conference for the first time, and they send emails and say, what should I do? How should I prepare? And I think, oh gosh, I should have asked that. First time I went, but I didn't. So I came clueless, didn't know what I was getting into, and I was not somebody who was involved in organized medicine before. I didn't do AMSA in medical school. I went to national conference as a student and a resident. I didn't even know that there was like policy making stuff that went on. I went to the residency fair. I did some fun stuff in Kansas City. So this whole kind of organized medicine piece was really clueless to me, which also means it's never too late for you to get involved in it. So just because you didn't do it before doesn't mean you can't do it now. So I came to what was then NCSC, now NCCL, as a minority delegate from Maryland, and planned to just kind of attend and see what this was all about. And, they were asking for people to volunteer for like tellers and, reference committees and run for stuff. And I was like, I'm not doing any of that. And so then the conveners for the minority caucus, Jay Lee, who I hope you'll hear his talk tomorrow, said, you should run for the AMA Young Physician Liaison. So that's the person, there's a Young Physician section in the AMA, and the AAFP has somebody who sits in that seat and kind of works as that liaison. They said, we haven't been able to find anybody to run. And I said, I love those odds. Nobody else is running. That sounds like a great idea. And there's 2 slots, and nobody's running, so this is like a guaranteed thing. So I put my name in. I hadn't even been a member of the AMA, so I go quickly online and I pay $100 because I'm still in position, so I get the discount on dues. And so, I write my speech that night, and I show up to do my speech, and there's 6 people. And I was like, Jay, you said nobody else was running. What is this? So I did ultimately win. And so, I think what that says to me is you can come to this conference clueless and catch the fire. So there's an enthusiasm that happens here to encourage you to get involved. And I would say, even when you try to sit on the sidelines, people are going to pull you in. Let yourself be pulled in. Sometimes it takes saying yes, even though you said no a couple times. If you want to start, you need to say yes. You need to try. Put your feet in. Be a teller. Be on a reference committee. What does it hurt? You're here at the conference. Enjoy it. Take advantage of these opportunities. Run for something. Who knows? You might win, and then you could, who knows what that opens for you. So I then jumped into, being the AMA Young Physician Liaison. And so we go to the AMA conference. I'm like, that's cool, okay. It's in Orlando, that sounds like fun. So this just happens to be the year when the AAFP is joining together with the American College of Physicians and the American College of Pediatrics to present the joint principles of patient-centered medical home to the AMA and to get that adopted. And so I then get to be in strategy meetings with Ed Epperly and the head of all of these organizations, and then get to speak on the floor of AMA. I've never done this before, and would have never gotten the confidence to do that if I hadn't been at NCCL before and learned, how do you write a resolution? What does that mean? How do you stand up and speak first for support or against support for something? How do you build an argument? And then to be in these meetings with these really family medicine legends, helping to debate and pass this, monumental policy, what an amazing experience that was for me. And, if somebody hadn't said, why don't you just try? Just try it. Just see where it takes you. I never would have gotten to the next step. And so, let me go back here to this little. So, I was clueless. I went to the AMA. That gave me a little bit of confidence. I came back to this conference and as a new physician, I started out as a minority, I did my 2 years there, and then it switched over and was the new physician delegate and co-convener. Things were going on in my life at this time. I had my second kid, and I was finishing up my MPH and trying to think about, what do I do next? I was really loving my job. At that time, I was working at a FQHC, very diverse population. I loved that. I loved helping the people that I was helping, but also very much feeling like their problems were bigger than my prescription pad, right? And so the things that I needed to do for them, I couldn't do in the museum room. And so started thinking about, what do I do next? And so I'd heard about this thing called the White House Fellowship. I heard about it in 2008 when President Obama won, and there was this talk about Sanjay Gupta being Surgeon General, and I was like, Sanjay Gupta, what's he done? He's a neurosurgeon, he's on CNN, how's he qualified to be Surgeon General? And I read his bio, and he'd done this White House Fellowship. And so I went on the site, and read the bios of the White House Fellows, and said, they sound really amazing, I could never do that. And so I put it on the shelf and said, I'm never, that sounds amazing. And so then, a couple years go by, and I'm thinking about it again, and I'm trying to figure out, what are my next steps? What am I going to do? And, the White House Fellowship thing came up again, and I went, and I started to apply, and then I went on the website, because it asked you to write your bio. And I read the bios of the people on the website, and they sound really amazing, I am not doing that. And so I put it aside. And I'm going back and forth with my friend, and she's like, it's free, right? Just apply. What does it hurt you? It's free. And I said, okay. And so really, what this conference gave me was the confidence to be able to apply for something like this. And it gave me the resume, because I was at the AMA to get into PCMH, and the constituency leadership and the state leadership to really think that I could actually even do something like this. And so I did apply, and I was a White House Fellow, and I worked at USDA for a year, looking at their breastfeeding policy, and wrote breastfeeding policy for USDA for their employees, and also looked at WIC and community health centers and how they can better work together and what we can do to kind of facilitate that relationship. And I've got lots of cool Obama stories that I won't bore you with now, but you can ask me later. And so when I finished the fellowship, I then came back to AAFP and ran for the board of directors. And that's really trying to do something bigger than yourself, right? And so again, it's this idea of I'm here because I want to help patients, and how can I help them even more broadly? And so being on the board of the AAFP, so this, in the midst of the old white men, who are really lovely old white men. I would be happy to spend another year on the board with these old white men, because to be honest, I actually will give this plug for the board. You might look at pictures of the board and say, man, those men, how are they really representing? And I will say that these folks really have genuine hearts, their hearts in the right place. They really support this conference and us, and I don't have enough good things to say about them. I think it was really a wonderful experience. But this was us giving a congressional briefing about GME reform. And so here again, I had the opportunity to sit at a table with AAFP family medicine giants. So Fitzhugh Mullen was also there from Surgeon General, who wasn't in the picture, Dr. Butler, Dr. Kane. I mean, it was really just, an awesome opportunity. And it was on my birthday. So I took what I learned on the board at AAFP and here at NCCL and brought that back to my state chapter and was installed as president. So I came off of the board at AAFP. I actually had to delay my term to start with Maryland because I was still on the board. So I came off the board of AAFP, and then because the conference happened to be in DC, they just installed me there. So I had one day in between where I was not. And so really trying to take the Maryland chapter from good to great, and so taking all of those lessons and helping to get us to the next level. And so this is Dr. Regina Benjamin, former Surgeon General. We were at the White House spring whatever picnic that they have for appointees. And one of the things that I think I learned from her is that the voice of practicing doctors is small, but it's very well respected. They are not official doctors in government. And so many times you see this policy or you hear this thing and you say, that's crazy. They couldn't have talked to any doctors. You're right, they probably didn't talk to any doctors. And so they're not going to come find you. The onus is on you. So go to your state advocacy days, go to FMCC, write your congressman a letter, go meet them when you're in your district. It's really, you have to make yourself available to them. And I don't know what's next. I haven't figured that out yet, but I think that this is a conference where, at least for me, it's a great time to start thinking about next steps. And so I hope all of you will catch the fire, get involved, run for something, volunteer, and really gain those skills so that you can see that you can go in any direction, whether it's to the AMA, whether it's leadership in your organization back at